Well, I'm heading over to the studio just a bit early. I'm going to be photographing a sculpture of mine that was colored yesterday called Plains Warrior, and it was done in a more of a monotone patina. Somebody asked me if I was going to paint it, and I had to reply, no, this is the patina that it's going to have. I just set up the bronze of Prairie or Plains Warrior in the monotone patina, and what I'm going to do now is photograph it, and then I'm Alright, this is the wax of I Want to Be Like You, Daddy, and it's just out of the mold. It looks like it's not completely clean yet. There's a lot of rough areas up here on the top of the hat, and some little nicks out of it here that probably didn't get completely poured out in the mold. This is what the young lady does that works on the waxes. She cleans those things up. Now, over here are the waxes of that little cowboy, ready to be dipped in ceramic solution, which they makes a second mold. You notice inside here, he's hollow. That's what they do. They make a wax copy, and it's a hollow wax copy. They use a paper cup that they've dipped in wax to be the pour spout, and these are tubes, or what do they call these? Brain's just tired. Sprues. These are sprues, and that guides the wax into the body of the young man once it's melted out of the ceramic mold. So that's that part, and you can see they cut off the back of his hat. That's so that they get an even pour. Now, this shows you how it's finished off here. Hollow again. There's the top of his hat there, which is hollow, and sprues on these two items so that they can be poured. This all burns out of the ceramic mold, which is the next process they do. This here is the Plains Warrior in pieces. These are the arrows, the ends of the arrows that he's holding. I think, how is he holding it? Yeah, like this. He's holding those like that, and that's cast separate. So that's the top of the arrows with the feathers, and then this is the bottom part of the bow, and that's just out of the mold. They haven't done anything with that yet. And here, what they do is they store these pieces in a box of popcorn, and as you can see, they're still cleaning this piece up. It's still got the seam from the pour, and then you can see where they've put a sprue here just to keep the sides from collapsing in. This is, somebody asked me what they do with the armature, and this is the armature rod that goes into the back, and they just cut this off and then clean off that part in this stage, and then they'll cut a hole in there so that it's castable. I'm going to go ahead and put that back down there. Now this is the bottom part of the Plains Warrior. Get this popcorn off so it's not spreading all over the place. Got some popcorn up inside of it, but you can see there's popcorn on under there, so I'll just get that out of there. You can see it's hollow. I'll run my finger through there. That goes up one leg, and there's the waistline where they join the top half and the bottom half to it. This still has to be cleaned because there's still seam lines on it. So anyway, that gives you an idea what they do to prepare these for casting. Let's take you over here. Some more of the little cowboy. Now I'm going to take you in the mold room, the ceramic room. this is where they dip the wax into ceramic solution. And you can see some of the molds. These are not my pieces here. These are somebody else's, but it gives you an idea what they look like once they've been dipped in the ceramic solution. And how many times do they dip them?
These ones have been dipped 6 times.
About 6 times?
Including the seal.
Okay. So they dip it about 6 times, including the seal. And some of the bigger ones, they put chicken wire on just to give the ceramic mold a little more strength, because that bronze, when it goes in, is really heavy, and I've seen a mold break because of one little weakness in the mold. Now he's going to do a process on one of these, so I'll just video that. This is not one of my pieces, it's somebody else's, but that's okay. It gives you an idea what's going on. First, the ceramic solution. By blowing on the solution. The enemy of a fine casting is air bubble. Now he takes it over here to the sand, and you can see that it's got air going through it, and he just lays it down in there and just floats in there like water. And that puts the sand texture on it, which strengthens that ceramic solution and also thickens it, and that does it inside and outside the wax. He's just pouring it into some of the holes that are made in it so that it fills in the inside perfectly, and he just shakes it off. And now he places it on the shelf, and it just sits there and dries. How long does it take to dry?
Depends on the piece. Pieces like this tend to need tubes to go in the side of them. If they need tubes inside of them, it could take upwards of an hour and 15 minutes. Okay. Most pieces that are flat take about 35 to 45 minutes.
Take about 45 minutes at the most. Alright, I have to walk through the mold storage area. And these are all rubber molds by different artists, all stored on shelves. And this is just one storehouse. There's several storehouses. Every one of these shelves are just covered with different molds, and they're all labeled, and some are ready to go, and some are just being stored for the next time an order comes in. So, and that's a good 10 feet high, that shelf. So that just gives you an idea how much artwork they're producing here at Northwest Art Casting. All right, I'm going to go through the base room where they put the bases on the bronzes. Jeff, who works in the wax room, makes the bases here at the Foundry. As I do a final inspection to make sure I didn't damage this thing, I'll see you tomorrow at the studio, where I'll be working on the bust of Captain John Lovewell, or John Lovewell again. Alright. That's it from the Foundry here in Bozeman, Montana. And it's cold out there. Believe me. The sun is just starting to set over the western mountains, and you can see it's reflected up on those, that's Sacagawea Pass. I think that's what that's called. Just on the other side of that pass is Livingston, Montana. And past that is the Great Plains of the United States. Because this is about where the mountains end, is right about here. All right. See you tomorrow.